because we are already on time. What do you think, Jose?
Sure. And yeah, we have much to talk about today. And yeah, we have some lore to dig in. So please, Santi, do the honors.
Yeah, so we are starting now officially the Atlas Brew number 9. The Atlas Brew is the weekly gathering of the Star Atlas community where you need to bring your brew together with you. Here I have a coffee now. Jose probably has a caipirinha. I didn't ask, but
Very
Always.
nice.
yeah, like a good Brazilian. Every time I go to the Brazilian community, they tell me that I should go with the caipirinha. So yeah,
That's the way, Santi.
yeah, I know. So let's start. I'm with my co-host Jose. Jose, you need no introduction, man. You need no introduction. Everybody knows you. Jose is content writer for Star Atlas and my co-host here in the Atlas Brew. And today's main topics, we are going to speak about reports and lore, which is your area of expertise, Jose. And then
Yes.
we're going to try to give some updates on the community related projects, projects that are being built by the Star Atlas community. So let's get started. Just say I want to start with the philosophical side of things now.
Yes, Santi, absolutely. And I need to take care because I saw in the discussions of the Atlas Brew that some guys, to not say the name of those criminals, are trying to bait us into releasing all the lore, Santi? So we need to take
They
care.
want the alpha,
Uh,
man. They want the
they
alpha. They
want
will
they
do
want
anything
the
for that.
alpha. Yeah, man. But
Something
yeah.
I got something important. Could we go through a private chat while Jose is hosting?
They'll try to bribe you, Sen, to take care, man.
Yeah. We need to be very careful.
Two Opal Jets. Two Opal Jets.
Triple jets, maybe three. So,
Sorry,
guys,
go on, go on.
no
Yeah.
problem, no problem. This is our space, guys. The Atlas Brew actually started as a safe place for our community to, theory craft. And even before it became a official Star Atlas place, like an event supported by the by the team of Star Atlas, this is a place of the community. And yeah, when we talk about lore, we are talking about the universe of Star Atlas, guys. And when we are talking about the universe of Star Atlas, we are actually talking about the ideas that inform this universe, the different hopes, desires, creeds, and hopes that everyone here has about the future of our metaverse, the future of our game, and some may say even the future of internet and relationships between people. And this is very exciting for me, because even though I'm not in the main branch of lore writing here in Star Atlas, they let me have a place in writing the ideas, the concerns, and the things that I have lived and that I want to expose in in the side story, if we may say, of the Star Atlas world. My position, my aim, my objective is to enrich the universe, you guys may see the characters like Wen, Iago, and many more that we are introducing in the next weeks. Those guys, they will be exploring things that the main lore, the one that's portrayed in the posters, the one that's written about in the main branch of the story, they didn't dwell yet. So I think it's a great opportunity for us, for the community to be part of this, especially because we are actually developing some crazy cool projects where you guys will be able to um how can I say without spilling too much alpha, you guys will be able to engage and provide influence in a certain manner how things will unfold in the world of Star Atlas. And this is actually very important for us because, as you guys know, the main creed of Star Atlas is power to the people. So we are always striving, always trying to find ways to empower you guys to actually be the protagonists of Star Atlas, And yeah, We are working on that, but I can't disclose much about this for now. But what I can go deep on is the lore of Wen and its friends and foes. You know, guys, every good story raises from a good question, you know, and every single one of us that are here now, we are passionate members of Star Atlas community. We have all our fears, hopes, desires, and aims for the future. And the lore is but a reflex of that. And even more, the lore of Star Atlas, the one that I'm writing about, it hopes to answer a very important question for me. And I won't provide the question per se, but I'll share with you guys the considerations that I took to build this lore, to set the scenario, to set the mood about everything that's going on. And maybe you guys can start to infer some interesting stuffs about this. I think this is a good way to approach this. And to tell you guys that this is important, the lore is important from many points of view. It's important in the entertainment point of view. Of course, we like when we want to see how his story will unfold, how the characters interact. It's important to build up our universe. So, from an investor point of view, it's interesting to see that Star Atlas is more than ships, more than NFTs. We actually have a universe that's growing, that's building up in front of us, and it's raising with our community, with our game. But more than that, Star Atlas is the story about a shift in the paradigm of human relationships. And that's interesting because while the plot brings this question that's happening in reality, the how can I say, the clash of the old world versus the new world, and how people are able to change things, how people are able to influence the events that are coming. The well, each and every single one of us who are here in the Web3, we have our hopes of building a better world, right? We want to establish ways into which the common man, the simple person who is not in the top of the hierarchy of power, of corporations, of the government, he may be able to reclaim his fate from other people's hands, like the political destination, their political destiny, the economical power that were in the hands of banks and corporations and is now back to the people's hand through the wallets of crypto coins. And Star Atlas is about these questionaments. And this is really interesting because we won't provide you guys with the answer. We Yeah, Star Atlas is about building the tools, raising questions, raising awareness, and give you guys the power to choose how things will unfold. And in this macro context is where Wen and his friends rises. You know, the character Wen is inspired in many life events, things that I saw, things that I lived, persons that I've met, and yeah, I come from not very. Uh, yeah, no, it was a good environment, but I saw many hardships during my life. And when you live in a third world country, even if you can manage to have a good life, you surely know people that don't. You surely meet people that lose much, that lost important things for them. And Wen is one of those characters, guys. He's the guy who had a very traumatic past. Um, I won't spoil any direct content about this past per se, but he and Iago, the Mieres agent that's working with him in Automata right now in the mission, they had a hard path uh, through their lives, And when personally blames himself due to some actions that he took on the past, and occasioned bad things to happen to people that he loved. And when didn't quite digest that, Wen has this desire, this burning desire to change the world. And this is something that most of us can relate at some point, more important than money, more important than positions, it comes the feeling of fulfillment. This is something that I took quite a while to find in my life, for example. And once I found my calling here in Star Atlas, things started looking very different for me because I knew that it was the right place to be. And this were a place where I could somehow improve the life of other people. And when searching for his own fulfillment, he's searching for ways of attuning, for ways of changing what happened, and to make it impossible for it to happen again. And yeah, this is when is very human in this aspect. He might be an intelligent guy, but at the end of the day, he's only human, just as the lot of us. Iago, for other point of view, he's not human. He's even though we have this is actually interesting because we as humans we need to write about alien races, right? And we need to portray them on a different logic than the one that's mainly human. So Wen has a different view on life, you know. He sees himself as a guy who is guided by destiny, and it's something interesting because in his mind, like every hero in the stories, in the things that he knew, in the things that he lived through, he sees that heroes are like they come from a bad past, they come from hardships. So Iago is like he feels like he's an instrument in the hands of fate, and that he's destined to make great things and to make the change in the world that uh, he needs to do. He has the same objective as Iago, but as when, but they come from very different perspectives and points of view. As Iago has this confidence, almost supernatural, on fate, on gods, on the guidance that takes him from one conflict to another. Wen is the pragmatic guy. Wen wants to have ways and the means to change reality. He's like someone like that's trying to build himself to be the change in the world and to find the path to change reality. And this is actually a very interesting point right now that I haven't rinked in the lore yet, but I'll share with you guys here in the safe space of the Atlas Brew. Is that there
Awesome.
is the that's the subtle way of Santi reminding me of my limits, but it's okay, Santi. I'm conscient still. I didn't drink enough to lose my inhibitions.
Yeah, be careful with that caipirinha, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But the cool thing, guys, is that there is a lot going over Star Atlas in the political framework. Those of you who knows me before being a member of Star Atlas knows that I have always been very invested in the political gameplay of the game. For me, this is the most fascinating aspect of the game because politics and the the ways of settling uh, decisions for large groups like society, like the factions in Staratos, like the guilds, like the decks. This is simply fascinating for me, because that's actually the point where we distinguish ourselves as humans. You guys know, like at the point that we are able to cooperate peacefully between ourselves to find ways of convincing someone that is the better path for the world, for our people, our organization, or faction. And guys, the factions in Star Atlas, they have radical different approaches to what the future should look like. And even inside the said factions, there's this sense. It's only natural, right? Because no organization is a monolithic institution. We have different currents of thought inside every single place in the world, and it wouldn't be different in Star Atlas. And you guys will see that raising right now, in the next chapters of Star Atlas, you guys will see that the factions, even though we are all under the cover of the Council of Peace Treaty, they are moving. Yeah, they are moving. They have agendas, they have objectives. And it's a funny thing because in the current status quo that uh, we have those on top and we have those marginalized. It's inherent to the human nature. This has been seen through humanity at all points, and this is also something that happens in Star Atlas. So we have those who don't live under the cup. We have those who lives in the outer worlds, those who fend for themselves, those who don't share the profits and the economical economical pungens that the COP nations have brought onto themselves. We have the factions that want to rise to power. We have many, many actors in the shadows, like uh, trying to, find ways into building themselves as the three main factions are. Because at the moment, we have the three main factions of Star Atlas and they rule the world. Basically, they are like the United Nations, and most of the civilized fronts operate under their rules. But there are always those who plots in the darkness. And like people who lives in the high risk zone, the medium risk zone, they just want to have a good life, like everyone. And the cop doesn't work so much for them. This order, this so-called order of the Council of Peace, it's not for everyone right now. you know and what we don't want to do here in the lore is set good guys and bad guys. And this is also something that I mentioned in the third issue of the lore, that good and evil in Star Atlas, they are not the players of the cosmic game. They are but another two pieces in the board, you know? So you guys will see really well in the coming weeks that good and evil, they are not the standards like in Star Wars, for example, where we have the good side of the force, the bad side of the force. No, Star Atlas is not about that. Star Atlas is not about judging who is right, who is wrong from a perspective of moral, because moral is a very human concept. It came from us, it's created on us, and different races, different species, they have different intakes on what's good, what's wrong, and we want you guys to decide that. So I have the feeling that we'll present many characters, and those characters, they are part of the different answers that humanity came to the organization of their assets, of their political organizations, their economic organizations. And I'm sure that some of you will relate with one or more of those characters. And if we pull this right, we want you guys to be questioning yourselves, like how you see the different path that those characters will have in the game, in the lore. Sorry, in the lore, you guys will see how they will evolve, how they will deal with the questions that are presented to them. And in my opinion, guys, this is a very, very real simulation that we are doing of how things will play out in the end game of Star Atlas. Like how the game will actually work when you guys have the keys to play and make the lore work. You know how you guys will create our metaverse. This is the main question that I want to get us started here in the Atlas Brew. Like we have many freedom fighters here in Star Atlas. We have people that genuinely believe that power should be decentralized at the most possible way. We also have people who want to build very centralized organizations. And you guys are all actors in the world of Star Atlas, but not just in the game, in the metaverse of Star Atlas, and not just in the metaverse, in the Web3 whole scenario. because in Star Atlas we are trying to settle the mood and the new how can I even dare to say that we are setting the way that a new form of human organization, you know. And I really want to see, I'm really curious to see how things will play out when you guys have the control of Star Atlas world. And when's Lord going to be huge? I know I have already written the ending, like how I want this to end, and I found it very
Oh,
funny. Yeah, but I'm not telling you guys, of course, how I want it to end. But I can tell you that the last episode of the lore of the weekly report lore will come at the first day of our gameplay. So yeah, you guys will be able to bond with Wen and the other characters. The world of Star Atlas, I want to make it as immersive as possible. So I want you guys to, when you read the lore, you guys can imagine the different planets, the different species, the different conflicts. Bound with the characters. And yes, it's a dangerous world, especially in the high risk zone. So some people probably end up dying because we don't want to make this a trivial work of fiction. We want to actually represent things that, as things would actually play out if you were playing the game and the characters were like those in the lore. So yeah, guys, I want to present the lore. I want you guys to see this lore, this weekly lore, as something as to spark your imagination about the future of Star Atlas. you know, to see the possibilities, to see how big this game can be, what we are trying to do, the different perspectives that we are trying to bring. And as I said in the beginning, Star Atlas is all about bringing the tools and giving them to you guys. So you guys can come up with the answer that you think it's right about how things should be. And I want to see if the different actors, the different guilds, the different groups in Star Atlas, they will have the power to enforce their resolutions, enforce their worldview, the power, or even the power to protect the universe of Star Atlas from having a dictatorial way of living enforced. If you guys can protect this concept of freedom in the metaverse. So yeah, that's basically the main guidelines that I would like to set for the conversation today. And I would love to hear from a very special guest that we have today, his perspectives about Star Atlas in general. Right, Santi? I think that's
yeah,
time
yeah,
that
yeah.
we introduce our guest and ask him a couple questions.
We do have a really good guest for today, but before we move, like Jose, man, you do a great job here. Let me tell you, man. Let me
No,
give you some kudos, man, because like
thank you,
you
bro.
already really entertain us and like make us use our imagination not only in the weekly lore reports that we have, but here as well, man. So thank you. Just
Thank you, bro. We are
and
together during
make
this.
sure to give some really good sips to the caipirinha that you have with you
Yeah,
right now,
yeah, yeah. I'll
because
start drinking more now.
because you deserve it, man. You deserve it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we
Thank you,
have
bro.
Pablo here. I think Pablo, are you with us right now? Are you listening here?
I'm here. Hello, everyone.
All right,
Hey,
perfect,
Pablo.
man, perfect. We have Pablo who has a really good way of viewing like the philosophical things of Star Atlas, and I love how you explain your vision, Pablo. So you know that in the Atlas Brew, what we like to do is to dive deep into things, and we have a few topics now. And having you, man, a co-founder, like sharing your, letting
Your
us see a
vision,
little bit
yeah.
in yeah of your vision of Star Atlas and what is it, and like more like the broader vision of all things, like moving from the daily stuff that we do in Star Atlas to a more broader vision of everything. We have a couple. questions for you, man. If you are willing to take them.
Let's do it on Santi. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So first to start, I would love to see to know like what was your vision about Star Atlas at the moment that you guys decided to build this? Like, what did you guys have in mind? Because yeah, I guess it must be something huge, you know, like really difficult to get all the things together. Like, I would love to hear how it was like before having Star Atlas and then how it is now. But let's start with before, like in year 2020. You see the play to earn system like starting to be proven that it works, and you decide to jump into it and build Star Atlas. I would love to hear that, like what you had in your mind at that time.
Oof, man, I don't know if we have enough time for this.
we
Uh,
do, we do, we do.
but I think I think the seed for where we are today um, has been cultivating for many lifetimes. Um, there's a sense in in our in our soul, or maybe I'll start here. Like when I ask someone, and I ask these questions sometimes when I'm out and about, and I just meet random people, and I enter into conversations with them. I'll ask them like who are they? And some people will start with like their job title or like where they're from, and I don't know. I'm a mother, father, or whatever. Kind of like these general things. And then I ask him again, like, well, who are you? Like, who's that voice that is speaking? Um, who is that? Right? And everyone always has like this moment of like looking at me, like when a dog looks at their owner with a treat, kind of like tilts their head to the right. I'm like, what do you mean? Um, even right now, right? Like, who is this voice that is speaking to or with you? Um, that's me. That's who I am, right? That's my soul speaking. I'm not Pablo. I'm not StarSapa. I'm not, you know, Pablo from Peru or Pablo with two kids. Like that soul in me, like that's me, right?
Yeah,
Psychologists call that the me. When you discover the me, when you know the me, you find things and you can actually explore different aspects of life. And so the reason why I say that, the seed to Star Atlas was seeded many lives ago is because I think that we're we're in a moment where four people got together and their collective energy was caught in this vessel um, called Star Atlas. And now there's thousands of people in this vessel called Star Atlas. This vessel is something that is expressing and manifesting everything that we truly want to be, not necessarily who we are right now, right?
yeah,
And so when we can kind of like collectively step into that mindset and live out that expression, it becomes a community. And so, you know, right now, Stralis is the game, and we're talking about factions, and we're talking about lore, and we're talking about the technology, DeFi, NFTs, and this sort of thing. But it could have been something else, to be honest, right? But it's this now, right? And so that's kind of like I know it's kind of woo woo. It's very on the esoteric side of a response, but
Makes
that's
it's
sense.
okay. It's
that
okay,
that
man.
that that's the type of energy that we're putting into this. This is a life engagement that we have with what we're doing, because we're not just doing this for for a company, for a business, or this is life, right? And so like we want to spend our life doing something that we love, and we want to do it with people that we love, right? And that's what we're finding. We're lucky. We're all lucky to be able to, be a part of this. But the story is, Michael, Jacob, and Danny have been working in blockchain together for a few years prior to me meeting Michael. Once I met Michael, I met the rest of the team, and we reconnected in 2020. We reconnected while out on a bike ride, and Michael and I, and we're in bicycle gear and our 10-pound bikes, and we're going up a hill. And Michael starts telling me a little bit about what he's working on with Danny and Jacob, and it's about this game. And so I start asking questions, and I get more intrigued only because I love playing games, and I love sci-fi. I've watched so many sci-fi movies, and I love everything about aliens. Like I love extraterrestrial just stories, right? So I love this type of stuff, and science and space. I've always loved it since I was a kid. I grew up in Florida, used to watch the rockets go out into space all the time out of Port Canaveral. So when I started hearing about this, I was just like, wow, super interesting, super interesting. Well, I kind of just left it there, and I went home and then started doing a little bit more research. And I haven't slept since, pretty much. In reality, I didn't sleep for
I
like
feel you.
30
I feel you.
days. And in those first 30 days, where I didn't sleep because I was just in the rabbit hole. I took the red pill in the rabbit hole. A week after that bike ride, I invited Mike to go on another bike ride. And when we finished that ride, I was like, man, let's go back to your house. I want to show you something. I want to do a whiteboard session. So Michael has this big whiteboard. I get the black one, he gets the blue one, and I asked him to share with me his vision. So he shares his vision, and I was like, okay, I understand that. I was like, can we go beyond? What happens in year 10? What happens in year 20? What happens in 100 years, right?
Yeah.
And so I took him down that path because in 2008, I was doing research on Second Life because one of my professors was doing a advising for Toyota to enter into Second Life. And so I was already exposed and was spending a lot of time in Second Life back then. Like I would just hang out like at the beach, like the digital beach, and like meet girls and stuff. Like, well, I thought they were girls. I don't know what they were, but
Yeah.
I would hang out there, right? And so like when I told Mike, I was like, Mike, well, the game's amazing, sounds really cool. Here's some ideas, blah blah blah. I also have experience in mining, like real mining in Peru. So I love the game loops, and like that side of things. But the other part was, well, what if you could just live out your life in this place, right? And after understanding that Web3 can now take us into this immersive experience with VR and XR and AR, then we can actually make those experiences, hyper real, right? Like we can actually do this time around, because it wasn't complete back in 2008, 2009
Yeah.
with Second Life. So, I gave him my whiteboard session, and he asked me to join the team, and that's how I became part of the team, and that's how I added my value, to the vision of Star Atlas was beyond the game. The crew was very focused on the game, and which is amazing. I really wanted to look at what could we do beyond the game, and that's where I landed. But yeah, guys, I mean, like for me, from a personal perspective, our first action in this world is breath, right? We're born with breath, we die with breath. I think the magic happens in between, right? And even in the cycle right now of my breathing, breathe in, breathe out, the moment in between when I breathe in and I breathe out, if I can live that moment in between, that's where that's where I can experience flow state, right? Like that's where I can experience being in the now. And
Amen.
I think that I think that Star Atlas, it has the ability to consistently bring people into the now.
Yeah.
Not just in gaming experiences, but in social activities as well.
So in some way, you like this Star Atlas ride, like from a personal level, is like trying to like seeking the truth in some way, right? Like here we have the possibility to reorganize like everything in terms of humans and how we live. That's what Star Atlas brings to the table.
Absolutely. I think for many years, we've lived in this post traumatic centralized disorder, where when we're born, we're given a name. When we're born, sometimes we're given a religion. When we're born, we're given the family, right? And all those things are beautiful, and we might like it. Sometimes we don't. Um, in this next rebirth, in this next space where you can live out this life, you get to choose. You can be self-sovereign around what your identity is and what you want it to be. I think there's a quote in Ready Player One that, in the book, it's something like, people came to the oasis for what they could do, but they stayed in the oasis for what they could be, right?
Hmm.
And so I think a lot of us will be able to find not just wealth, but community and friendship and honor and loyalty, and live out those truths, right? And have fun.
Yeah, definitely. That's already happening now, like in the Star Atlas community. Like that's something that we are living right now. So yeah, I would love to open mics for people if you have like any questions. You have Pablo here, co-founder at Star Atlas, going super philosophical with us, guys. So take the chance if you have like a related question. Don't ask for alpha. You know, I know that you're thinking about that, but if you have like any questions, like any philosophical questions on how the leaders of Star Atlas see the world and Star Atlas changing the world some years from now, like just feel free to ask. I think it's
Yeah,
cool.
I think that was
I
very.
I have one.
Yeah, let's go with Lordo. You opened the mic first, I think.
Yeah, do you see the world as the Ready Player One kind of metaverse, or is that the end vision for Star Atlas, or is it more into Red Alert, Stellaris kind of gameplay?
I mean, no, I appreciate the question. In regards to the gameplay, I don't know, like, the ending. And even for the other side, I don't know the ending. The main reason being that the ending is, I think, my personal opinion, the ending, when that would happen, whenever it does, I think it's going to be shaped by, like, it's going to be shaped by the community. Like, it's not going to be decided by the current people who are operating and developing Star Atlas today. Like, that's how I truly feel. I feel like, the end um, might just be the end of Star Atlas, but the beginning of something else. And that beginning of something else is literally going to be a birth of Star Atlas, right? So it's like, yeah, it's like never ending. So it's not really
The
ending,
first Big Bang.
but it's going to be something that is going to be birthed by the community. That's how I truly feel. Like, we're not going to dictate any of that. It's going to be so far into the future that we won't be here. I think I've told this before, but like, I would love to download part of my consciousness into my avatar, and have a way where I can track through coordinates track my avatar through coordinates. So I can leave that tracking mechanism in my will, and can be passed on to my family, so that if like my great grandkids want to go and visit me and hang out with me in the Star Atlas metaverse, they can go do that. And still hang out with me.
Okay.
That's really cool. I think it's probably going to be doable at the way the technology is developing right now. So, yeah, yeah. I like it. So, if anyone has any extra questions, I know I saw Baloo maybe opening his mic. Not sure. Just feel free to shoot. We're going philosophical here.
Yeah, I wanted to, this is this has been really enlightening, and
The push to talk is hard, man.
Yeah, the push to talk.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Start
Yeah,
from the
so the
beginning.
the button keeps decompressing, so I'll try to get through this. But my main point, this was really awesome to hear, and it was eye-opening, first of all. And yeah, I love the macro scale, where you look at things in a broader concept and see how they all correlate, and then use just pretty logical thinking to like push your consciousness a little bit farther into the future and perceive the possibilities. And hearing you dream aloud with us is awesome, and it's cool to like be a part of it. I don't know how I stumbled into this, but it feels special. And if it doesn't work this time around, like that's okay. We'll catch it on the next iteration.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Big hug to you.
Anyone else has any question for Pablo? You know, guys, there is only so many opportunities to talk with one of the founders and learn their thoughts about the game and or metaverse.
Well, I have a question. It may not be like his thoughts directly or philosophical or anything about that. Um, I was not actually here for your direct introduction as you came in, and I apologize for that. I'm curious what your direct role is within the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So, co-founder and chief revenue officer. What we do in the revenue command center is quite a few things. We are building out several teams that are functionally driving different areas of the business. So you can think of us as building out the community, building out our marketing intelligence group, our growth team, which has to deal with corporate partnerships as well as corporate initiatives. We have a strategy team and a public relations team, um, and of course as well as our community team. So we kind of look at the not just brand placement and corporate strategy, but keeping the community centric as to why we do the things that we do. Why we partner with who we partner with. We always keep the community in mind. I always kid around with the team, and I have them ask before they do anything. Uh, they need to ask themselves, what would the community do? But yeah, that's my role, and those are the different areas that I'm building.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that directly. So that's cool. Excellent.
Awesome. We have anyone else?
Yeah,
I
I'll
have
talk
a
to
question.
you, Pablo. I'll actually let them go first. It's fine.
Please.
No, go ahead then. I mean, I wanted to ask you, you know, what do you think will differentiate from Second Life, Star Atlas? Like, why that community fell apart? Like, what was the main reason if you followed it closely?
Yeah, great question, man. I think that the main core differentiator between us and Second Life has to do with timing, but I think timing is too general. The timing impacts technology. It impacts just human consciousness and where we are on that journey as a collective. It impacts capital requirements and distribution for environments like this. So it impacts a lot, but it's a big reason I think why this time around, an environment like Star Atlas has a very good opportunity to leverage time, capital, and the resources that are needed to make something like this happen.
Thanks,
And
man. I completely agree.
sure, no, and yeah, kind of just to wrap that answer up there is like being able to allocate those resources efficiently across building the team using the correct technology, and building the community to support the idea and vision at such an early stage is fundamental to its success, right? So yeah, being able to manage all those things at once in coordination, I think are gonna continue helping us evolve. And there's a lot of things that we're kind of working on behind the scenes that are going to be outputs of those things that I just mentioned right now. So yeah, I think the other one, like in regards to Second Life, they didn't have like the and they're still around, by the way, right? So like Linden is still around, and I think they're on other projects as well. But they, like, for us, we're centralizing the thought of the environment specifically around Star Atlas, the MMORPG, right? And like that's a lot easier for people to grasp than just opening up land in virtual environments for anyone to just come in and build and do a bunch of things. Although that might seem cool and fun, I don't like logically know where and how that's going to continue building value over time. But when you have a game, you have something that you can go really deep into. So I think that's a bigger differentiator alongside time is just that is the gaming side of things.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. We have some framework where to build. Like there's a direction, and the direction is a space simulator, and
Exactly.
plus it's gonna make us all money. So thank you for coming up with this idea.
Yeah, you got it.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your background, man? You sounds like you know what you are doing, man,
He
and
knows.
sounds very yeah, it sounds very good because it's very complex job you have, and you engage a lot, man. You got like, I think the biggest game going on. So tell me about your background. I'm very curious.
Yeah, sure. I won't go all the way back to my mother's womb, but I was born in Peru. My parents moved to the States when I was young. When they moved to the States, they had to start all over. So I've known how to work hard from a very young age. Um, I got a ride to go to 6 universities I applied to. I chose one to go to, and that one was called Rollins. So it's a liberal arts school, Florida. So I did my undergrad there. I did a double major in international business, Latin American cultural affairs, and did a minor in economics. In my time at Rollins, I was really able to do a deep dive with. I think right now he is rated in the top 100 scientists in the world. His name is Fetrin. He is the Mark Fetrin. He's the same professor of mine that I had throughout the 4 years, who also exposed Second Life to me. So I spent a lot of time with him and learning from him. After that, I always wanted to live in Peru. I wanted to be a part of the culture, immerse myself with people there. Besides, I love the food. I love surfing. So I went to Peru. I did my postgrad there in supply chain. But my main objective was to work for a private equity firm to build a portfolio of mining projects, physical mining, precious metals mining projects. So projects between $1 million worth a feasibility study. Feasibility studies are like 100-page engineering reports as to what are the resources underneath Earth, what's its value, and what's the capex, opex to the investment. So for $1 million all the way to $500 million mining projects, I set up my own team. I had about 4 people working for me. All of them were double the age of me. I worked directly with the Ministry of Mining of Peru. So I have a lot of experience in working with politicians and government agencies. I did that for about 4 years. But in my spiritual journey, at that stage, I basically was exposed to learning more about how the mining industry was impacting society and the environment. And over time, it just didn't align with me and my ethos of me, who I want to be, the things that I want to support in life. And so I decided to step out of that sector. So I went and launched. I took like a year off just to kind of figure out like what I wanted to do next. I launched a few startup companies. First 2 of them failed completely, but I learned a lot. Third one I was able to sell. They were all in mobile app development, software development, enterprise software, and then also personalized data. From there, I decided to support one of my good friends, and I was number 5 in their company called Vanguard Scientific Systems, where we manufactured cannabis extraction equipment. So we built with physicists and scientists a critical CO2 extraction equipment, and we expanded that into building out entire processing facilities, meaning that we knew exactly how to convert a cannabis plant, anywhere from 2 plants if you wanted, all the way to 2,000 pounds of dry cannabis per day facility, into an oil or different categories of oil. So pharmaceutical grade oil as well as adult use oil. And we did this in over 14 countries. So I took the company, I built out their sales and marketing divisions, and I took them from 1 client in the US to 14 clients in 14 countries all over the world. From there, I was also introduced to the world of psychedelics and psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy, where I ended up launching a psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy platform with 4 other doctors. And so I'm a big advocate of plant-based medicines. I mentioned timing before and collective consciousness. Collectively, people are looking toward plant-based medicines as an alternative for depression, anxiety, and other things like burnout. And so I think more people are depressed, more people are finding themselves as anxious, and this is a thing. I mean, this is a global pandemic, and they're addressing these things with things like psychedelics now. Um, so collectively, I've also been on the fringe of emerging markets, meaning I have a really good pulse for understanding when things are going to happen before they happen. And that was also a big reason why I wanted to be a part of early here on Star
Yo,
Atlas, because this is a long project, and being here for at this early stage is just it's a gift. Um, so yeah, that's me. I've always worked with scientists, with technologists, with government, but at the same time, I've always been on the ground floor with the people, with communities, and I learned that in mining. And one of my biggest goals in life is to go back to those areas that have been impacted and affected by the mining industry, and find a way where I can connect those people and those communities to Web3, so that they can have access and also have the feelings that I have today, and the advantages that I can provide to my family that they can also provide to theirs. Um, just because they're in the Andes, 10,000 feet above sea level, and don't have access to much, doesn't mean that they should be cut off from Web3, right? So yeah, to me, when we talk about power to the people, you better well damn believe it that we mean that. We mean that with every single word behind it, and we we wake up thinking of how we could increase that and materialize that in real life every single day.
yo,
Yeah,
StarSapa.
man. Each time I heard one of you guys, the source team there, I get more impressed. How many skills you have, guys, to put this on going on, because it's a lot of like new visions, and we need like these skills, especially mining and community you have. Thanks, man. Thanks to get me this background, bro.
Yeah, man, we really
Hey,
got to know you here.
StarSapa, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, friend.
Cool, man. Hey, I sent you a friend request. I would like to have a conversation with you. I know some very, very big players in the psilocybin production community. They're doing some really cool things with some very calculated dosing, putting it into gummies, making it a lot more acceptable and accessible, as well as measurable. And would love to talk to you about some of that, maybe like government contract or something, or maybe if you need us some supply, dude. Let's have a conversation.
I love
Awesome,
this.
man. Yeah, definitely. We'll connect. Thank you.
I love
I
Pablo,
love
man.
this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love this.
Yeah,
I
But
have
for
a
yeah,
sure. It's
guys.
question.
Atlas.
very good a subject.
Yeah. When
This is
when Pablo says, guys, let me show you some insight that I have from Pablo and working with Pablo. When Pablo says he knows how to be a hard worker, guys, let me tell you, he's not lying. I had the pleasure to work with Pablo like really close for over a year now, and now we probably he has more people to delegate to. But in the very beginnings, guys, when Star Atlas was nothing and we had only the white paper and the website that is not the website that you see now, there were a lot of effort needed to be made, and across all areas. And you saw Pablo all day in meetings, and after the meetings, when you went to sleep, when you are, you're with the cell phone, like about to go to sleep, you started receiving emails from Pablo that he was still working. Like he was still working at like 3 a.m. probably, like 4 a.m. And I don't even know, Pablo, how you did it, but yeah, man. I just wanted to share that. Like you're the true hard worker, man. kudos to you.
It definitely sounds like somebody I want to know. It's what I do every night.
No, Santi, I appreciate the words, man. But listen, man, we're building something really special, and the community, deserves nothing less than that, right? Like, you deserve nothing less than that, and being a leader, like, I take that on full responsibility, So if it means staying up a little bit longer, we stay up a little bit longer, right? So
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
yeah, man.
This is the way. This is the way.
Yeah, no sleep mode activated.
I have a question.
Please.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do one or two more because we still want to cover some updates on community related projects that we have some really interesting guests here, but let's take like probably one or two more. So yeah, go ahead.
All right, I already spoke. You guys go.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for all this. Was a little bit confusing. It's my first brew here. I was having a conversation before with some of the guys of the community here, and we realized that, well, some of us are like a little bit aged, and I just wanted to thank you guys for the idea of doing this, because for those of us who were born in the 70s or earlier, and we were the first consumers of science fiction on the level of space and Star Trek and all that. This is something that when I was maybe 20, 25, I was never thinking I could ever, witness. And I know it's still a long road to go, and that there are a lot of changes to do. But I just wanted to tell you, and I think that I speak for a lot of people here who are also in their middle 40s or older, that this is probably the biggest game or biggest dream, I would say, for all of us. I know it's a big responsibility. I know that many of us will have a feeling of we don't really know what we want, but we really want it. But I just wanted to thank you for putting all this together, getting all those ideas, getting all those black and blue blackboards, and just writing it down. And for everything that I know, I'm up to it. So just wanted to share that with you guys, as you were also sharing some things. It's not really actually a question. Maybe you want to talk about it or comment on it. Would be glad.
Thanks for sharing, friend.
Yeah, man, we are so glad to, learn how you guys
I love
establish
this
those
brew,
bonds with Star Atlas,
man.
man.
I love this
This is
brew.
great.
What do you guys got in the brew? Something's in the brew.
The brew is a special place, man. The brew is a
The
special
brew is
place.
special, and the vibe is great here. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Love it.
This is one of my favorite communities.
Yeah.
I
Like we're
follow a
vibing.
lot of different crypto games. I'm in a lot of different discords, and like this is one of my favorite. Anytime I see something going down in here, I hop in immediately.
Yeah, man. Like, you know what's the craziest part? Like, we have 90 people here with open mics, and we're having
And
like a
it
great
works.
conversation. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it works.
that's just against all odds, for real, for real.
Could I ask
So
something?
yeah. Go ahead, my friend. Go ahead.
Okay,
Last one
sorry.
we have for Pablo, so we can let him go get some
Yeah,
rest, probably.
it's a kind of a philosophical question because that's where we came from.
Yeah, of course.
But it's an in-game philosophy. It was the one I wrote about. Could we potentially meet some alien species that doesn't think like humans? Humans are very industrious and everything, but aliens species really, it's most likely that they don't think like human. Do you have any ideas about this or something?
Not sure, Pablo, if you want to answer. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah. No,
more like
I
a
love
question for Danny. Like,
I love
yeah,
the question. I mean, like, yeah. This isn't like definitive, right? Like, this is just me, kind of like if we just met somewhere and you asked me, this would be my response, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, for me, I love the idea of of thinking about like the lore in this capacity. I mean, I think I was talking to Jose yesterday about something very similar like this. Like, what like I wonder, right? Like what like who created the Onis, right? Like I asked myself this, you know, who created the Onis? Who like what was the origin story of the Onis, right? Like what's the origin story of Ooster? We might know like Mud faction, right? Because they're the closest thing to humans, right? And Ooster, maybe there's a story out there that like humans created AI, right? And then AI created Oosters. But what about Onis, right? Like my biggest question as well, just in general, like who created aliens? I mean, if we believe in aliens, who created them? How did they come to be? Um, one of my favorite movies is Prometheus. Kind of like a modern day sci-fi, and they have this idea about the engineers, right? Um, oof, I don't know, man. I could stay on this call forever about this topic. This is such a good one. I don't know, but I think that I would love to hear it from the community. I think all it always comes back to me, like guys, like I know that we're big on quality, right? Like the work product we put out is AAA, right? Everything's AAA, from the marketing to the teaser trailer to the tweets. We just feel like it's just top quality because we care about the damn thing, and I don't know, maybe we might be biased, but I feel like it's top tier quality stuff. At the same time, like I'd love to discover that level of just passion, I guess, and craft in the community. So if there's anyone out there who wants to share stories and lore like that, I'm sure Jose and Santi are all ears about these ideas. But yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to dance around the question. I just feel like if we start chatting about it, it's going to be never ending.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
We can have a whole
but I
brew
still want
around
to
this,
talk.
Pablo, man.
Yeah, let's have a whole brew about it
Yeah,
next week if we can, or the next time you have it. I'll jump back on
yeah, man.
because like
Okay, okay,
I do want to talk about it. I do want to talk about this. Can we do that? Can we
okay.
make like the whole topic about aliens?
Yeah, we can. We
Yeah, we
definitely
can.
can.
I'm so on
That's
Sick.
what the
board.
brew is for, man.
Amen.
Yeah, yeah,
Sick,
yeah. So
sick.
let's leave
Okay.
it for the next week. So we have, yeah, we have you committed. You already said
I'm
it.
committed. I'm
So,
committed. I'm here.
okay.
I'll have my brew in hand.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
That's great to hear. So yeah, man. Thank you for joining, man. Thank you so much. Like I know that everybody appreciates you being here and having the time to just dive deep into a conversation with the community, man. Like for real, we really appreciate it.
No, man,
Yes.
the
Thank you,
pleasure is
Paul.
mine. I appreciate that everyone here, shows up and wants to just like share space and share energy and share ideas because that's what this is about. So, yeah, pleasure connecting, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Yeah, man. See ya.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining. So now let's move to the last segment of this brew. I know that we're already more than 1 hour in. So I invited some friends who are building things for the Star Atlas community to share some updates on what they have. Let's start with Ratodum and Tufa Attack, man. How is Tufa Attack doing? How it's going? Do you have something to share with us? I think I caught you by surprise, Ratodum, man. I'm sorry. Okay.
Are you
I'm
there,
just checking if
Saturday?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
No
No
problem.
problem.
No
I was
Probably push to
I
talk.
was locked out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was trying to get screenshots. And it wouldn't let me push Alt in the game. Alt was locked.
No problem, man. Yeah, I know that everybody, since you share what you're building, what Tufa Attack is, I know that everybody is just super hyped. So I want to cover the updates, like what you have, and maybe if you want to share some screenshots on how it's going, just this is your moment.
Sure. Yeah. First of all, everyone knows how I roll. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and ask them while I'm talking, and I'll throw it out there as we go. Now, first things first, for all of you who are not familiar with Tufa Attack, it is a top-down shooter, space-oriented and centered around the Star Atlas universe. The initial ship is the Ogrica Mick, which I have just finished fleshing out, and I'm trying to grab the screenshots right now. And
Sharing in the Atlas Brew chat, correct?
yeah, it's going into the Atlas Brew, yes.
Everybody go to the Atlas Brew chat right now.
So there's the first one.
Okay. It's looking
So
good.
really what you'll see there is just, the basic layout of the game. You got the mega shot bar, which we'll go into in just a moment. You got the bomb indicators and everything. This is all things that took some work and some time, obviously. I mean, if anyone has worked in game development knows nothing happens instantaneously.
Dude, it's coming along nicely from the last time you shared this. Looks good, man.
Yeah. Lots of progress.
Yeah, it's cleaning up for sure.
Yeah.
And then the next screenshot here, it's just you can kind of see the bombs, and I was showing some of the explosions from things hitting the ship and whatnot.
Cool.
All right, there's that one.
Okay.
And then last but not least, and this is the big reveal, I guess, because I just finished this night before last. It was a giant pain in the butt, and I'm very proud of it. This will be the Mega Shot.
Giggity.
Do it. Share the
I
alpha.
do want to point out. It's I do want to do more with it, but for right now, that is
Look
pretty
at
darn
that.
cool.
Oh man,
This is
that
nice.
looks powerful.
It is definitely a room sweeper. I like it a lot.
Fucking rad. And you can move that, like it stays shooting for a while. You can like move it around.
Yeah, so the mechanic behind it directly is you'll fill the bar up. The weapon upgrades increase your ability to shoot more lasers and bullets and whatnot from the primary attack. When you pick those up, you get a little bit of charge into the Mega Shot bar. So it kind of gives them a purpose once you've maxed out your guns. And then you can use that charge to fire the laser, and it drains some energy over time, Yes, BFG, thank you. That is exactly what it is. Currently, no, not P2E, no. It's just it's a fan game. It's for the community, Obviously, once we get it up and going, there's going to be access if people are wanting to be friendly, they can donate or whatever. And then, but beyond that, it's just we're doing it for you guys. We want you guys to enjoy it,
This is awesome, guys. Congratulations.
Is there any possibility of potentially some like cross? Because like I don't know if anyone here is in Pegaxi, but they're talking about doing like satellite things because NFTs are essentially just a bunch of numbers on the blockchain, right? And those numbers can be tied to anything. So, a ship in Star Atlas, say, like if you own one of those assets, let's say one of these fan games, maybe you'll be able to use that and that NFT maybe in either the same way or a different way or some representative of something else. It could be anything for some of these other games and kind of have sort of like a satellite system. You know what I mean?
I do want to say that has been a thought process in the back of my sprite's mind, is maybe something along those lines in the future, of course, for us, but not at this time. We don't have that planned. We're more focused on finishing the core of the game, and then we want to move into either PvP, PvE, multiplayer situations, or both. is what our main focus is going to be after completing the main level.
Cool.
Cool, man. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Other than that, I can say I do have to hush it a little, but we do have a very cool thing coming up that has to do with Tufa Attack and the actual release of it. I just would encourage everyone to stay tuned and, stay active in the community. We will be coming along shortly with that.
I love it, man. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing the updates on the Atlas Brew and on the Atlas Brew and man, this is next level. We can't wait to play, and you guys are doing an awesome job. Thanks for doing this for the community, man. Like this is what takes us to the next level for real.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. The support, the love, and everything has been just awesome. This is literally a dream come true for me. So just, thank you guys for being a part of it. That's really the best part.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you. Much love, my friend. Much love to you. So I also have Lumina here, I think. I hope he's here or still with us. Lumina, man, how are you doing?
Hey, Santi, what's up?
Doing good, man?
All right. So, some updates from Coexist.
Straight to business, man. I like it.
Yeah, well, might as well. I know it's been almost an hour and 20 minutes now. And by the way, I know Pablo left us, but it was really great to hear his vision and point of view and what he thinks about Star Atlas for the future. I had one question for him, but maybe we'll save it for later. So this is Lumina. I'm the guild master of Coexist, which is a Star Atlas Turkish community guild. For those of you who might know, who might not know, we have been building a Star Atlas tutorial game on Unreal Engine 4, and we did a lot of stuff in it. We added a lot of new quests and info, and updated the new ships and so on and so forth. And then we decided, well, might as well, since the showroom is going to come, we should also switch to Unreal Engine 5. So we switched to Unreal Engine 5, and I shared a few things today, but I'm going to upload.
Bring us the alpha, man. Bring us the alpha. Let's go. Okay. Let's go.
All right. So for those of you who never seen this before, you probably are familiar with this picture, right? This is from the Star Atlas showroom.
Yeah.
So, and this is our Unreal Engine 5 Star Atlas tutorial game.
Everything is being shared in the Atlas Brew channel, guys. Go there if you're not.
It's a big file.
Holy shit.
Man, this is beautiful.
This is built by you guys in Unreal Engine 5.
Yes. Now, I gotta say, our experience with Unreal Engine 5 has been a little bit hard, because even our current graphic cards are having issues in terms of the lag and whatnot. I gotta tell you though, it looks amazing. This is just a little teaser. Actually, you know what? I created something which has a low resolution, but I don't know.
We love the alpha, man. We don't care.
Yes, Santi, I know, but I don't know if I can share it right now. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. Okay, I will. All right, I will do this. Now, this is a little GIF from the game. The quality is not that great. Just ignore that. But this is all I can share at this point right now.
Yes, and I'm gonna tease me, Daddy. Tease me.
So this is the Unreal Engine 5 version. We built 2 levels, and we are currently working on a level 3 with all the Star Atlas ships. Now, there has been sort of an ongoing back and forth discussions with me, Santi, and Xcode, and a few others to get some actual Star Atlas 3D models in our game. But it is still sort of in the limbo. We don't know if we're going to get or not. But even if we don't, we're going to have our own Coexist Star Atlas tutorial game, Spaceships, that you guys will be able to fly it around. And hopefully in the next iteration, and it's probably going to take a few months, but we are also doing a project with Cryptosonic, which is called Supernova Racing, and we are part of that project too. So depending on how fast we move on with our project, we might be able to host maybe a racing a game within our game.
Santi, hire this guy already. What are you doing?
Now, well, thanks. Appreciate it. The other thing is we are also thinking about using this game as sort of almost like a central hub before the Star Atlas showroom comes out. So what we are planning is to have specific levels and areas which are dedicated to Star Atlas content creators and their content. So, for example, Tufa Attack and the team, we're going to have a special area which is dedicated to Tufa Attack, and you'll be able to go there and check out the screenshots and maybe watch a little teaser video, and then you'll be able to click to the link and you'll be able to download the Tufa Attack game. Same thing goes for, if there is something goes wrong with the Dogcast or other people in the community who are creating content that is related to Star Atlas, they will have a space in this platform. And once we figure out obviously the multiplayer aspect of it, then this is going to be a really great project. And this is so totally a fan-made thing. It's going good so far. So
It's been really good, man. You've been
Yeah,
humble.
it's
You've been
awesome,
too humble.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is next level. This is why I'm always bullish in Star Atlas, because of the community. You guys are
Yeah,
crazy.
true. Yeah.
and if the stable version, which is the Unreal Engine 4 version of the game, you can download it from here, but I
Oh,
cannot post any link here. I just realized that again.
don't get
So
bashed, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah,
don't get banned.
maybe.
You can shoot that to me in DMs.
Okay, I'll do that, Santi. That's better. So you can send the
Yeah.
link. Now, this is, like I said, this is the Unreal Engine 4 version, but this is a stable build that you can check it out. The current version of the game supports obviously Turkish language, English, voiceovers, and subtitles. And also, we just integrated the Spanish translation, and we are in the process of integrating Spanish voiceovers too. Thanks to Dragon Corp for doing that, and also thanks to Balkan Club to Egonacht for doing the English voiceovers. Santi, I'm trying to find you. There you go.
Nice.
So you can
Yeah,
share the
man.
link. Once we are done with the Unreal Engine 5 version, and we are, like I said, we are still building multiple levels. We're going to release it to the public, and you'll be able to experience it, and hopefully fly some ships within the game too. Like I said, you can download from there. Currently, there is really no game within the game. There are some quests and there are some NPCs that you can interact with. But the current Unreal Engine 5 version, at least the map itself, it's humongous. We are definitely building something cool. Definitely stay tuned, and hopefully we'll release some new versions in the upcoming weeks. Yes, there
Man,
will be a multiplayer function, hopefully in the near future. Yes, there will be.
this
That's
is
the
next
idea.
level, man. This is next level. I can't wait to hang out with you guys there in your Unreal Engine 5 game or Unreal Engine 4. Like, it's going to be really cool. And
You
I
need a
love
bar with drinks.
Yeah. I love all the collaboration that is going on. Actually, you mentioned like a lot of guilds who are helping you guys with this, and from the global communities. Like, you're speaking with guilds from different languages, and I love the community coming all together to build something for the same
Absolutely.
community. Like, this is next level for real.
There's also a Japanese guild that reached us, so hopefully they will also take care of the Japanese translation. And there's also it's a French guild who was interested to do the French
Oh,
translation. So it will support multi-language languages. And speaking of which, this is Atlas Brew, and after hearing what Pablo said, we might need a couple of drinks with THC in it when we play this game. So I will talk about it with Pablo next
Hey,
time.
get at me. I can supply that.
You can supply. Okay, I do have a
Whatever,
medical card, so I'm good.
whatever
I
you
love
need,
edibles.
baby. Whatever you need to make that game happen, I'll send it to you. I'll
okay, okay.
sponsor you. How about that?
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it from me. I'm flying back to Turkey at the end of May, and at the end of this month. I'm sorry. And then when I come back, I'll bring your caps too, Santi. So
Yeah, man, please, please. I need that.
I just want to say, if you didn't see in the chat, me and Sprite wholeheartedly agree. We so want a spot in your little place. Please hit us up when you're ready for that.
absolutely, I'm going through it right now. Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely, we'll do that.
This is next level, guys. Thanks for sharing.
And you know what? That we might be able to. Well, it depends on the API, though. Well, we can talk about it because the people might be able to even play that Tufa Attack game within our game too, if we do it right.
oh,
Yeah,
Awesome.
if you can emulate Opera within the game, dude.
Yeah, we should be able to.
oh man,
Yeah, we'll definitely look into it. Absolutely.
this is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah, guys. So thank you, Lumina, very much for sharing. I know that there are a lot of different community developed projects. So I feel like we should do again like a whole brew around community developments. So probably yeah, one of the next ones. So we can cover everything because these are just two different games that are being built. But I know that, for example, Benny from Heimdall is building another one, and yeah, there are a lot of cool stuff in the making in the Star Atlas community. This is just yeah crazy. So we will do a whole brew just around community developments. And thanks for sharing today, Route to Doom and Lumina. I know that people are really excited of what you guys are building. So I just wanted to have that covered so everyone knows that you guys are making really good progress. And yeah, even if you need any help like from community members, just feel free to ask because I know that a lot of people here will love to help. So yeah, guys, thanks for sharing. We are taking it to the
Absolutely.
next level.
I can't
Yeah.
program, but I'd be happy to sponsor you via some goodies.
This is awesome.
Oh, that works. That works for me.
You better
we will
friend and
take
me.
it.
You better friend invite me. I want your goodies.
Hey, send me a friend invite. I'm not sure who
I'm gonna
was that
send.
just said
I'm
that, but
going
yeah,
to.
fucking hit me up, dude.
This is
Ratto
Stark.
doom, dude. Ratto doom.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll
Yeah.
send you a friend invite.
Santi, and I don't
Red-eyed
know,
samurai, right?
maybe
Yeah.
you could end this episode with some alpha regarding the lore as well.
Yes, yes.
Whoa,
Uh,
whoa, whoa.
yeah. So just a heads up. This week we'll let Lieutenant Wen waiting a little bit more, and we will introduce two new characters. And with those new characters, we'll also talk about something that our community loves. We'll talk about Titans. So yeah, the next lore will be a little bit about
Okay.
Titans.
Okay, Alpha,
So
Alpha.
yeah, I guess we can all go
Yeah.
do our things now and end this episode, Santi.
Yeah, we are already more than 1 hour and a half in here. So, and thanks everyone who has been here with us, guys. Like, I love this brew episode. Like, it was really great. I love having Pablo speaking like theory crafting and going super philosophical with us, guys. That was super fun. And I still find it crazy that we are 80 people right now. And when Pablo was here, we were like 100. And we have all open mics. And it was a super like great conversation. Everyone was just respecting each other. I love it. Like we're
Yeah,
going against all odds here, guys. For real.
It's really rare.
it's
Yeah.
the
Like
start of
Yeah.
I've
Star
been in a
Atlas, right?
lot of AMAs with open mics, and it turns into a shitstorm real quick.
Yeah, this just speaks about the community that we have here, guys, and so thank you guys, thank you guys. This is just yeah, I just get mind blown, and I see this every day. Like every day is just more and more. So yeah, guys. One last thing that I want to mention: Rampage, a member of the Atlesi family, is he's trying to set up a tournament between Star Atlas guilds. So I will just tag him in the Atlas Brew chat, and if you want to participate, just reach out to him. He has some cool ideas, and he probably needs some help with organization. So if anyone wants to help him, like we tried, but we are like we have our hands full, like it's just crazy here. But yeah, I think it could be something really cool for the community and for guilds to compete against each other. Will be super fun. So I will leave the Rampage contact here, like his Discord handle, and just go and message him. All right, guys. With this, I'm ending this Atlas Brew. I'm ending this Atlas Brew. Thank you so much for being here with us. It has been a great episode. It just feels really, really, really good, guys. And yeah, Jose, thank you for being my co-host as always.
Always together, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, guys, this was the Atlas Brew number 9. I think we have some really good topics for the next one and probably for some more. So I love that everyone just is here and joins us and vibes with us. Yeah, thank you for being here. This was the Atlas Brew number
Cheers.
9, and power to the people.
And stick it to the man.
The man.
Take it to the
Stick it to the
Thank
cult.
Stick it to the man.
you.